Good evening, and welcome back to the channel of the Resistance.
Viva la Resistance.
Et les saucissons. Wait, what? Yes.
You have the sauce.
Long live the sausage. Okay, there was a serious thing. Maybe a cereal thing.
Cereal?
Possibly Kellogg Fruit Loops. Maybe I should follow my nose.
I wish we had some Fruity Pebbles.
What happened to those commercials? Remember with Fred and Barney? Barney trying to kill the rabbit for stealing his tricks or something like that.
Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids.
Silly faggot, dicks are for chicks. Wait, what? That's old New Orleans. Just because in New Orleans you say anything that's fucking funny. Well, did when I lived there. Back when people from New Orleans actually lived in New Orleans. That was a long time ago.
What was you trying to say?
Well, now it's people from everywhere from fucking Poland to Wisconsin.
Again, what you trying to say? You seem to forget where your wife is from.
Okay, but you were there before Katrina.
Yeah, okay.
Allegedly.
You fucking knew me before Katrina. We went to fucking high school together, ass.
Okay, yes. No, but after Katrina, they just priced people the fuck out of rentals. If you were lower class, you just weren't allowed in the fucking New Orleans area anymore.
Unless you were in the hood.
Yeah, you either had to go for the ghetto, or you had like family helping you, and we didn't have a fucking family helping us. So. Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge. So, anyways, we are watching 13 minutes, 43 seconds into a 52-minute documentary, and I just had enough.
That face she's making.
And this bitch looking at it like she just I don't know, just blew a fart right in our faces or something. Don't you love it when you pause on just pretty much anywhere you pause, you can just kind of translate that into a fart. Like, what is that? That's yeah, I know they smell that. Okay, so this is how we amuse ourselves around here.
Love it, yeah.
Because we frequently pause the TV and just say the relevant fart joke.
Right.
Okay.
Sorry,
Stop.
I'm working. I'm working.
You're working by showing me cute puppy photos on Facebook. Okay.
It popped up. I'm looking for
Just
work.
popped up.
Trying to keep the business afloat.
All right. So anyway, it just popped up like Donald Trump's pants when he's playing Santa Claus at a family reunion. I mean, wait, what?
Like a tent at a campground every time Ivanka walks in the room.
Ho ho ho! Sit on my lap, little girl, and we'll talk about what I want for Christmas. Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Sit in my lap and talk about the first thing that pops up.
Alright, so, moving on. I think there was a fucking point here.
Was there?
Yeah.
We started about her face. It started with me commenting about
I think Donald Trump farted on her face or something like that.
She farted.
She farted on Donald Trump's face. That's the look of satisfaction. I'm not going to get up again. Lazy. So, think the trolls have gotten bored and turned it off yet? All right, so down to business with the judicial system. I mean, yeah. Down to Mr. showing us his pattern more and more with the judicial system. Speaking of judicial system, man, you really can't say judicial system without sounding drunk, can you? I'm not drunk. It's the judicial system. Okay. I can't believe Dana Carvey's a fucking Trump supporter. That right there just blows my fucking mind. Dana Carvey. Garth. Fucking Garth has betrayed us. It is no longer Wayne's World. It is Trump's America. Okay. Oh. My soul just took a shit in my heart. Okay.
My soul hit the road on November 8th.
And then one of these fucking redneck trucks ran it over.
Corey hit it while he was backing up. His big ass tires.
Yeah, he got over no time with them. No problem with them fucking off-road tires.
Them bitches grip some road though.
I bet they do.
I'll tell you what.
They stick out of the sides of a fucking Z71. You know. So anyways, the point of the video. Big, dirty finger of science.
Those are way too far away.
What? No. No.
Give me the last one.
Alright. I feel like packing another pack.
You still got like 3 in there. Jesus Christ.
No, you have 2.
How long is this video gonna be?
I don't know. We haven't even started it.
I'm sure the trolls are gone by now.
Go away, trolls. Get back on your fucking bridge. Oh, speaking of bridges.
Oh, God.
There's a metaphysical metaphor that occurred to me about trolls the other day. Why do trolls hang around bridges?
Tiger Lily.
Because they like to help humans burn them.
The cat is staring at me.
Tiger Lily. What is it, girl? Did Timmy fall down a well? Okay. What do we got? Dingo. Don't give a shit.
Tiger, really?
No, think about it. Trolls like to hang out under bridges.
Mm-hmm.
They help humans burn them. Metaphorically speaking.
Right.
They don't like us to have connections between each other. They like to divide us.
And then conquer.
Oh. They're always there before a conquest begins. that bitch's face is something else. She's like, yeah, how you like them corn fajitas?
What you trying to say? Is she Mexican?
I just ate them 5 hours ago. No, just like the look of satisfaction. Only like some Mexican food could really like give somebody that level of confidence that their fart would impact another human being in such a way. Like that's gonna haunt them for the rest of the evening. They're gonna get home and complain to their spouse about that one.
Either that or broccoli.
some nice old soft broccoli, you know. Been sitting at the Outback Steakhouse a little too long before they threw it on the Barbie. Oh. Broccoli on the Barbie, huh? They do that at Outback Steakhouse. All I know is they got fucking pumpernickel rolls that just like consume my life while I'm there. I love those fucking pumpernickel rolls. Anyways, what the fuck is this video about? Bridges? Troll farts? I don't know. So anyways, let's talk about decoding the true nature of Donald Trump's business empire, shall we? Because this documentary, whatever the fuck it is, with this lady, I'm just gonna turn off the TV so I have to stop, so I can stop looking at her fart face. Full show, on CBS News, on CBS's I'm right now. On CBS News, full show, America's CEO.
Published today.
Documentary about Donald Trump, published February 9th, 2017, today. 52 minutes, 5 seconds long. I'm going to hit the power on the TV button. TV on the power button. Something like that. Scratch that. Reverse it. There's a whiskey in the gyro.
There's no sex in the champagne room.
But there ain't no hole in the wash tub.
From the window to the wall.
How many random references can you not make sense of in one 5-minute period? Depends on how hard you try. We're not going to try. We just do it. Comes naturally.
We're not going to take it
after we
anymore.
eat Mexican food and broccoli.
Mexican food and Australian broccoli.
How do you give a kangaroo PTSD? Okay. Donald Trump's business empire. Fuck. There, you're slouching more and more there.
You slouch with me.
Hey.
It'll be an early day tomorrow.
Okay. I can't.
You can't slouch.
I can't do that. It's just like driving my OCD crazy.
When I slouch, you slouch, we slouch.
Dippin' Dots is not the ice cream of the future.
Because they ran out of vanilla.
When I dip, you dip, we dip. I dip in dots.
As long as it's not the vanilla.
Yeah. No. When Sean dips, nobody else dips. Because he only dips vanilla. You don't know about when I dip, you dip, we dip. You'd have to, enjoy some chocolate for that to happen. But
you can't have none of the different colors mixing.
Yeah. Because then all the little dots would meet Marty McFly or something, I don't know. 1.21 gigawatts would melt it into Mexican ice cream or something, I don't know.
And then we'd be back in.
And then this girl would eat it and fucking fart on somebody and just fan it on over. Thus proving that Dippin' Dots is not the ice cream of the future. Somehow. No, really, are the trolls gone yet? 'Cause this is all right. So here's the deal. This documentary was about, well, the first 13 minutes are about basically all the morons that you've seen, if you've done any research into Donald Trump's business empire or watched anything on him, as far as his expansion of his father's business, Fred Trump, in the 80s, mostly in the 90s. And there's a certain level of confoundedness that this is presented with. Like, perplexedness, I guess, like, how does he do it? How does he continue to get giant fucking loans when basically 1 out of 3 of his deals turns south? And it's this pattern of like, and they explain it like he's just not a good CEO. He's just a good deal maker, and like he can't manage his assets. He just seems to be able to get more. Right. Okay. And I, for lack of a more polite way to explain this, whenever I see these things, I get this overwhelming feeling of I'm fucking surrounded by morons, and I just want to like punch the TV, and I can't because I paid for the well, I didn't pay for the TV, but money was paid for that TV.
It was a gift.
My dad paid for the TV, which that's nice. Paid for something in the past 20 years. I mean, I'm kidding. I'm still confounded by the Integra situation. In the beginning, I was possibly going to be building that Integra for my dad. He's the one who paid for that Integra that's sitting outside, and he just kind of was throwing money at it, and then suddenly he was out of money. And like, dude, if you were gonna run out of money, you shouldn't have been throwing money at a fucking old Acura. Like, okay. Anyways,
leadership.
Anyway, yes, Acura. So, like, I've got a lot of really wealthy people in my family. Like my cousin just bought a fucking Baja unlimited buggy. He's racing in the Baja 1000. And that's fascinating to me. Like I've grown up around real estate development people. My mom was the vice president of a property acquisition firm. Okay. I grew up around people that make deals. I grew up around business. I used to run a fucking car lot. Okay, I know what business and deal making is like. I know what con artists and salespeople are like. Okay, I've worked with them. All right. So understanding Donald Trump, you know, sure, there's a lot of people who have that kind of experience that I've had with business people. And you find a lot of people with that kind of experience trying to explain Donald Trump. But they don't also have military analysis experience, like a lifetime of being very interested in that. Tactical analysis, strategic analysis, spy analysis, computer security analysis. Basically, you know, I'm a wide ranging geek. And I have a unique perspective on things. And having a Serbian wife kind of helps that too. It's completed my experience in more ways than I'll go into on this video, but some of my subscribers are quite familiar, I'm sure. So, how to decipher Donald Trump in a way that would be easy for people to understand occurred to me a little while ago. And it doesn't involve trolls under bridges or anything like that. It really goes, no. Although it could if you really wanted to. No, not digressing. Not digressing. Coffee. So, all right. If you're a local sheriff's office and you need to do a stakeout, what does that involve logistically? You need to establish contact with some local people, at the very least, a landlord of a rental property, local food delivery services, probably, maybe a few neighbors. Basically, you need to set up a little tiny mafia racket for any sort of effective medium-term stakeout. Even just an overnight stakeout. You have to secure a location. At least get some of the locals on your side if you don't want to risk those officers' lives. Right? Now, what do you do if you want to, if you're, say, the CIA, and you want to establish a more long-term surveillance of a particular person or area or building, business, that type of thing, government? Well, you set up a stakeout. And how is this done? This is usually done by a front company. It can be something as simple as a hot dog stand, or it can be a puppet arms manufacturer for the government that you're pretending to represent. There's a lot of different ways that it can be done. But more often than not, at least on the Western intelligence side of it, try to ignore the cat here. I know she's fascinating. More often than not, on the Western intelligence side of it, this is accomplished through some sort of recreational or rest area type venue. A hotel, a bar, a brothel, a casino, something like that. Right. A local restaurant, a place where a lot of people go, so that when the people that you need to have go in and out of there come and do whatever kind of local briberies, payoffs, exchanges, doesn't draw any suspicion. Okay? Now, one could assume that because their intelligence apparati have existed centuries longer than ours, shaking the whole camera there. I know she's cute, but just please just wait a little while longer to play with her. Please. Now she's distracting me.
See, it's her fault, not mine. She was distracting me.
This is the serious part of the video. Okay. So, from a stakeout to an intelligence operation that you could, if needed, manage a local coup from in a small country. If you had, a chain of businesses, especially like hotels where you could lodge foreign sports teams, or
hotel and casino.
Like there's a convention. We're gonna have a bunch of people from this country in this industry over at this hotel. And we're gonna happen to schedule it while we're having this sporting event over here, so we're gonna have a bunch of people from this country at this hotel. And next thing you know, those people assist a local political party to oppress their local opposition, that kind of thing. And these are just hypothetical situations that take place in real life. All right, that's how intelligence is not a matter of I want to figure out how to build the weapons that you're building. Yeah, I mean, sure, to a certain matter, to a certain extent, military intelligence does that. But to a larger extent, that shit's irrelevant. Everybody knows, we got fucking planes, tanks, and submarines, and fucking, we got things that go boom and they kill a lot of people. All right? The CIA, most of what it does has nothing to do with figuring out what kinds of weapons other people have. Especially not the KGB. KGB does not spend any significant portion of its budget trying to get technological intelligence with its hacking, with its espionage, none of that. It's trying to get influence on the ground. Because if it has influence on the ground, well, shit. Info about technology that'll just be given to you.
Right.
So to the extent that we might have in the past focused on technology, we really just did ourselves a disservice, if that's how the CIA did things. But the KGB doesn't do things that way. They do things similar to what I was talking about, the way the CIA does things more effectively. But they do it with a more mafia style. And they do it by installing oligarchs. So, let me backtrack a little bit. When you're the CIA, those businesses that you establish, obviously they're not going to be permanent businesses. Not all of them. Some will seem permanent, as semi-permanent, as longer-term operations and support become more stable, right? But to a certain extent, what you're going to have in an intelligence operation is a series of boom and bust type businesses and some that stay. And I would think that, usually it's more likely the hotels and bars and casinos, that kind of thing, that stay.
Well, yeah, because that brings in more money for whatever.
And it's more useful for laundering and people smuggling.
Yes.
Now, the KGB uses oligarchical type people because oligarchical type people already have employees. Chances are they've already gotten to the position where they are because of mafia type connections, mafia type loans. You look like you're falling asleep on the fucking camera. It's like, where? I should have went up to your nose and said, "Hello, my name is Pablo. I want to get out of your nose." Okay. So, anyway, dear, can you think of anybody who the KGB might be using in such a fashion? Does anybody fit this hypothetical description of a knowing mafia oligarchical accomplice?
Let me think.
It makes sense, doesn't it? It makes sense out of this perplexing, confounding mystery of his business pattern, why he can make good deals and not be a good manager. Why he can fucking get billions of dollars but barely seems to be able to read in English. Sometimes I wish they'd show the teleprompters from the way he sees them to see if they're in fucking Polish or not.
Or if they're even words, maybe they're just symbols, like wingdings.
Emojis.
Emojis.
Donald Trump's speeches are fucking icons and emojis.
It's like the cash registers at McDonald's. Instead of making them read what it is, they have pictures.
Like bumper sticker language on the teleprompter. So anyway, I don't know, you have any wisdom from the old country that might apply here?
shit, that's how they do things. I mean, it's. Excuse me. I did not catch my nap today. Busy with work. I mean, that's how they do it. You have a business that's undercover. I mean, in fact, I used to hear stories about this place that's over in Central, over on Hooper Road. I don't think it's open anymore. I think the last time I drove past it, it was all boarded up, but it was like a nail salon that was a front for, and it was either a nail salon or a restaurant, but it was a front for mafia meetings.
Bro.
And money laundering, and, you laundered the money through the business. I mean, it's just how it goes. And I mean, you got to think about, like, things like, okay, so just to use this as an example, that mother that got deported today, all over the news, she had a fake Social Security card. Well, I mean, not a fake Social Security number, it was somebody else's Social Security number, and that's what they do. They sell stuff like that to people, immigrants, terrorists, whoever has the money, essentially. And I mean, that's just how business is done. If you've got the money, they'll do whatever the fuck you want them to do.
And we basically take it for granted that there is no structure like that has any influence on our elections, that has any influence on the corruption of our churches, on our Freemasons, on our YMCA.
Everybody.
Fucking, like, every institution that America has set up to try to stabilize itself, they've tried to infiltrate. And by try, I mean they have successfully, completely, fucking totally screwed us.
Well, yeah, look at every company, and every company who has a CEO who gets billions of dollars in bonuses, yet their employees are struggling or they're having layoffs all the time, but yet you're still raking in a couple $1 billion a year in bonuses.
What does that have to do with it?
You're talking about people who have already managed to smuggle their way into positions of power to be able to do that.
Yeah, but I mean, there's local greedy fucks that do that.
Well, I know there's local greedy fucks, but I'm talking about on a more of a national and worldly level. I mean, it's all over the place when you think about it.
Right. They get installed in, like, some kind of fucking old boys club. You're right. And then people with, just business savvy, a lot of money, and their own set of ideals, like George Soros seems to me to be.
What is with everybody saying that he was paying the protesters?
They need somebody to scapegoat. It's like, I never even fucking heard of George Soros until all this shit.
Right, until all of a sudden
they just needed somebody
protesters.
to fucking say that was behind this shit, because they fucking, they're guilty of a certain thing and they need to accuse somebody else of being guilty of it, and he was apparently the only one who qualified, because that's how outnumbered, like, good-hearted, well-minded billionaires are to evil fucks. But, like, I'm not anti-capitalist at all. It's just that there has been a concerted effort, just like in the music industry and in the entertainment industry, a concerted effort to promote and enable people with like-minded views. Not necessarily people who know that they're working for the KGB. I'm definitely not claiming that. If you think I've been claiming that on that channel, you completely misunderstand the level of what's going on here. A useful idiot is somebody whose morals, whose world outlook, whose political views have been programmed. Okay? And based on this programming that is cast out in a wide net before the prospective oligarchical investor, backer, loan shark comes and tries to find the people to support, those effects can simply be picked up on while they go and screen candidates, while they go out and fish for who to help, while they, for instance, do the gatekeeping on YouTube to decide who gets the views and who doesn't.
What gets censored and what doesn't.
Right. You fit a particular worldview, So you become a famous rapper. You fit a particular worldview. Now you're the owner of Facebook. And it's not ever a matter of knowing the whole conspiracy. It's a matter of you have one particular aspect, one particular objective type of viewpoint in mind, and they can take advantage of it. Now, Trump, I don't think it's just a viewpoint. I think he is knowingly, complicitly trained by his father to do so his whole life. An agent of intentional destruction. He has, by his every action, caused psychosis among his supporters while causing complete disillusionment among anybody, not just who didn't vote against him. This has nothing to do with politics, okay? This has to do with anyone who's been trying to defend this country from this KGB onslaught of propaganda and to educate people of the connection between the KGB and terrorism through the Assad regime. For the past 5 years now, we've been targeted, harassed, marginalized. All the while, anybody who doesn't know about this, who wants to be famous, can go on YouTube and join a little network and become successful. And the rest of us have become so stressed out that we can't even keep our trains of thoughts during the day, okay? And we're just the people who've been trying to defend this country. Now we have to sit here and just claw our eyes out watching the people who've been unaware because we haven't been able to, effectively reach anyone because of the picking and choosing of winners and losers.
Right.
Not enough people know the truth now. So everybody's left scrambling. Oh, what, Russia was involved here? And we're like, yeah, they've been involved for a while.
Screaming that for years.
And Donald Trump keeps us strategically divided and has strategically neutered our defenses as a nation in a way that covers itself up. It's like, we have this obvious attempt at an illusion of safety by, we're going to have a big Muslim travel ban and we're going to appoint a general as a secretary of blah, blah, All the while, the actual network of people that coordinate things around the world to communicate with our allies, because there's 7 billion people on the planet, and we are a very small percentage of that. So in order to protect ourselves, we need to have friends around the world. All the people who maintain our friends, they don't fucking work for us anymore. And I can't even list the mind-numbing level of shit that's happened in the past 2 weeks because it's an intentionally mind-numbing level of shit. And if you struggle for what to do as far as activism goes right now, thanks to my Twitter people for staying at it. That's a good way to keep up. But if you're struggling for what else to do, one thing worth doing right now is just record what's going on. Make yourself a little YouTube channel. Buy a notebook. Devote a old cell phone with just a camera and its own SD card to doing screenshots and whatever. document what's going on right now. Because if we can't get a victory between now and 2 years from now, between now and 4 years from now, we need to pull out all this shit then and say, oh, no, 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 no. Here's how Republicans govern. You can't do this shit anymore. We had America for 8 years. All right? All the criticism that people made against the Obama administration was just so biased and so unobjective. It just fucking drove me insane. We had a more transparent, open, honest, accountable government than ever before in this country. I mean, ever before. At least in my lifetime, that's for damn sure. Just got more done and had a better chance to unite everybody. And we got Dick Army by a guy named Dick Army. An army of dicks called the Tea Party. Sponsored by foreign investors and local insurance companies against Obamacare. Why would foreign investors also want to team up with insurance companies against Obamacare? Body count, people. I mean, you got to understand, if you're a KGB officer and you can just spend a little bit of money on a political project to get people propagandized to get something that's going to save a bunch of your enemies' lives, spoil that, thereby costing all of those lives, oh, you're victorious. You've killed a bunch of the enemy. And that's why they don't want Obamacare. So congratulations, Republicans. You're a bunch of fucking, American murdering traitors. Democrats need to embrace the center. They need to officialize themselves as the party of the center. They need to not shy away from the fact that they need to try to get Republican votes. Because the fact of the matter is, the people worth retaining on the left are intellectual people. And the reasoning that you can put towards reaching out towards the right will be understood by us reasonable, intellectual, leftist, whatevers. We get it. We're not going to have the same propagandized reaction. We take time to understand nuance. That's why we vote Democrat to begin with.
Right.
But, if you listen to pundits, they're specialized in keeping the division going. So they don't, want to acknowledge that would be a good tactic. They don't want to allow anybody else to acknowledge it. And there's just, just fucking a million different things that I want to fucking talk about right now. And I don't have fucking time to sit here and just call bullshit on every fucking bullshit thing I see every fucking 10 minutes during the day. But just be aware. Be more vigilant, people.
Record what you see.
And definitely do more documentation about what's going on right now. But I'm talking, to any people in the media that watch this channel, Bill Maher, Keith Olbermann, I appreciate what you guys are doing so much.
Resist.
But we have to find ways to get people to understand how bad it's been for how long it's been this bad. Okay? And Kellyanne Conway just did us a big favor in that regard, because opening her up to investigation and her husband points us right back to the Clinton years with the Monica
Lewinsky.
Monica Lewinsky. Monica Lewinsky.
It's like Le Mans, but La Monica.
Oh, Melania.
I know.
Monica Lewinsky. Splujinski.
Excuse me.
Kim Kim. All right. Basically, back then, I remember people asked the question, "Oh, well, could this possibly just be the KGB trying to take out an American president?" Of course not. The Cold War is over. Russia's our friends now. See how that's working out for us? And now, in this time where Russia's made its advance, the same fucking people, Ken Starr's lawyer and his wife, have helped Mr. I Love Putin and specialize in divide and conquer and just happen to be the perfect oligarchical fucking business front man. All this is fucking happening, and just people are just pretending that it's not. Hurts my brain.
It even makes Tiger Lily run away.
It's the news job. It's reporters' jobs to ask the tough questions, as it were. That includes asking it of yourself. Do you really know with enough certainty to avoid any investigation, to avoid even second guessing the idea that Bill Clinton was framed? Do you really know enough? Oh, but DNA. Well, in 2002, there were Russian scientists that announced that they knew how to fake DNA evidence. And, you know, that's only 4 years later. You think they just
did it and then announced it?
Right, a discovery like that? Talk about fucking Russia here. They hold shit back for thousands of years that you little humans don't even know about. I'm not trying to talk about that because that sounds crazy. I know that. I understand that. I appreciate that. I respect that. I'll shut the fuck up. But as far as like, you know, modern technology goes, military assets, that kind of thing, you know, goddamn good and well they keep that shit under the vest. And I think after learning that they were behind North Korea, have been behind North Korea all along, even back to the Korean War, and that even if there's a possibility that they were behind Vietnam, behind maybe even Pearl Harbor, maybe we don't understand the instability of the Russian government. Maybe there's a different level of the Russian government, the mafia, okay, that's more stable than the publicly known government. Maybe there's a system to the way things work there. Okay? See, we have power to our people based upon the stability of our democracy. Okay? The longer our democracy is stable, the more people, the more power the people seem to be able to attain. Okay? Obviously, this instability has decreased the amount of power that the people have, right? So, if you're like, say, royal family dynasty of the Horde, for instance, would you want your people to have a stable country?
Nope.
You'd want revolution and upheaval to happen every few decades, at least once a century.
And destruction.
Weeding out of the weak and whatnot. And not only to keep control, but to keep vigor in those people. And not only to keep vigor, you know, just on a basic level, but to keep them with a certain level of psychosis, always recovering, always rebounding, and always with someone to be angry at, to blame, to motivate for their revival. And then you, as that managing Horde leadership task, that maintains its mafia structure reap the benefits of their continual expansion and contraction. And it just gets bigger, and then it collapses, and then it gets bigger, and then it collapses, and then it gets bigger, and then it collapses. Welcome to the Horde. All will be assimilated. Resistance, however, is not futile. And on that bombshell, it's time to hit the fucking button. Thanks everybody, like and subscribe. Peace.